Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Astroneer Glitchwalker series. Today we pick up the action where we left off from the previous episode. We're just working on getting deeper into Aeolus, and we're going to get some more resources, we're going to do a bit more exploring, and most importantly, we're going to get the next piece of hacking equipment that we need in our ongoing quest to, hack the planet. Alright, so strap yourself in, pop on your favourite Astroneer outfit, and let's get started. Alright, today's first effort is we are here to mine a bit of this wolframite that we stumbled across in the previous episode. We want a bit. Tungsten is extremely useful, and we are going to need a modest amount of it for our future endeavours. Now, we're not going to run that back to the surface because we want to get down here and do all of the good things that we need to do down here to further our cause. Now, we did run out of the tether lines last episode, and we went back, we've got more tethers, and we're now going to see if we can actually get to the vault down here, the Delta Vault, and get hold of its lovely contents. Now, I'm preemptively moving these tethers off to the side. I don't know if I'm going to end up bringing a buggy down by this route, but having all the tethers on one side is just kind of gets them out of the way, I guess you could say. So that's why I'm doing that now. It's not to say that buggies usually interfere with tethers, but sometimes it's a bit funny. Now, I did cut a bit of my explorations from the previous episode, partly because the episode was going to be a bit on the long side. But honestly, because I'd run out of tethers, 3/4 of that exploration was me running back to the end of the tether line to spend a minute getting all my oxygen back, to run for 30 seconds to run out of oxygen again. So you really didn't miss anything at all, other than me mining a little bit of hematite. Now, in my regular Astroneer series, we haven't come across hematite yet. Hematite is the ore that you need to smelt to create iron. Now, we did find a bit of that, and we took a little bit upstairs. We are going to mine a little bit more in this episode as well. But essentially, in my sort of cut explorations, for the most part, all I managed to do was make a bit of a path through here, generally in the direction of where the vault is. And you can just see the top of the vault there. So we are just now, with the tethers we have, in a position to work our way towards the vault. And our little detector is confirming that that is in fact the vault. Not sure why I didn't quite recognise it at the time. Being tired, I think that's a pretty safe bet. I did record these 3 episodes, so the previous one, this one, and the next one. They're all part of a big run that I did at about, 3 or 4 in the morning, so yeah. Now, what we've found here is this particular vault is not even connected to the ground. So, yeah, we're going to have to make ourselves a ramp so we can get up to there and start doing the whole, deciphering key unlocking kind of process. So, yeah, let's see how we get on with that one. Now, this side, I don't want to cover this side because this is a side that the drawer opens from. So I'm electing to just leave that open so it's easier to access once we have hacked it. In the meantime, we are making a little walkway around the four sides of this vault at a level where we can easily access the keys, and we can also see, you know, the pattern more easily, blah, blah, blah. So, we know the drill. We first activate the vault. That's when it populates the keys. And then we have to go around and, well, actually, we have to not asphyxiate. So let's deal with that minor issue first. We're going to run a tether line up here just so that we don't have to worry about that again. But we've also got to grab the other key, which is this one here. And then we've got to work out which ones go in which slot. Now, when you pop the right one into the right slot in the right rotation, you'll see it kind of animate a little bit to show that it's in the right spot. If you pop a key in the wrong spot or in the wrong orientation, maybe it's the right key and it's just pointing in the wrong direction, you will get absolutely nothing. So that one didn't work, that one didn't work. That one looks like it's the right one. I don't think it is though. We're gonna keep going on these. There's me hitting the wrong rotation button. Boom. That's how you know it's the right key, because the background of the key will change, like the key itself will change color, and the background will match the, you know, the rest of the background. Now, this one was a bit tricky. I couldn't quite work out for the life of me which was the right one, and it turned out this was it. And I think it's partly because I was looking at that side at quite an odd angle, and that was what was making the pattern look like it didn't quite line up. Having got that one, all these other ones are actually really straightforward. Now, we do something which is a little bit boneheaded this episode. Anyone want to guess how long you have to wait? Oh, wait, never mind. There it is. Yeah, I failed to notice that there was a gigantic hole there. And, yeah, that cache is pretty much gone. Yeah, it's fallen right down, and I'm not going to go down there to get it because I don't really have any explosives at this stage. To be able to open it with. I'm sure I will be able to make some explosives in the not too distant future, but not right now. We're just having a bit of a look around at anything else that might be of interest here. We can see there's a bit of malachite there, but I can actually get some on the surface, so that one's a bit less of a priority. We're going to get more hematite because iron is quite useful. And because you make steel and actually I've forgotten what the other uses for iron are. Doesn't matter, we'll find out. Yeah, so we're going to fill up a bit with some iron, and once we've done that we'll head back upstairs, pick up the tungsten along the way, and then we can look at what our next move is going to be. Now that we've cleared the Delta Vault, we're just doing a quick scan just to see where the next vault is. And yeah, it's almost as far below this level as what this level was below the surface. So yeah, I can see some more digging in our future, but we'll see if we can get something that will help us out in those endeavors when it comes time. For the moment, we're just going to consolidate a bit. We're going to run all this back up to the surface as I indicated. We're going to see what sort of upgrades we can manage. Yeah. And then once we're set up, our next jobby, which we're not going to have in this episode, our next jobby is going to be to do the Delta Storm. And it's going to take us a little while before we're ready to do that one. In fact, I don't think I've actually recorded that yet. No, I haven't. So you're going to be waiting another episode or 3 for that. But in the meantime, we've got plenty of exploring to do, and we've got some serious upgrades to get sorted out. Alright, there we go. We have now unlocked our Delta level protection in terms of being able to start counting towards it. As we saw, to max it out, we're going to need 24 lots of storm data. So we needed 16 for the first one. We're going to need 24 for the second one. So I imagine some storage, or more particularly, I would say an on-vehicle portable decipher is definitely going to be on the cards. So that's the kind of stuff that we're working towards. The other thing we're working towards here is, and I'm looking at it now, which is a drill. Now, the drill is what you put on the front of the buggies and rovers, and it lets you basically drill through the terrain. The other piece of kit, which we don't have unlocked yet, but the other piece of kit that we're going to be aiming to get is something called a paver. And oh my lord, are they useful. But we are getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. We don't have a lot of science going on here at the moment. And we've got, not even 1400 bytes left. That is not going to go very far. So we're working on just unlocking the bare minimum for what we think we're going to need to safely move forward. And we're also looking at some of the other things like, materials and whatnot that we will need for our next rover. Now, our next rover is going to be, hopefully, the large one. And we're going to need, I think it's 5,000 bytes to unlock it. And we are going to need some fairly serious materials together to actually make it. Now, that's the large rover there. We're going to need a couple of exo chips, which means we're going to need explosives. We're going to need aluminium alloy, which is quite easy. We could technically do that now because we've already got our little machinery here to do that with. It's just aluminium and copper to make aluminium alloy. And we're also going to need, I think it was plastic or rubber, but we can make that on our little workstation here as well. So other than the byte cost of unlocking that recipe and the exo chips that we need to physically make the rover, we're actually not going too badly with it. And I think that's going to be the focus of my efforts in the background, is to try and get that rover happening. And there's a very good reason. It's because on the front of that rover, you can put a drill and you can put a paver at the same time. And that is just the dream combination. The smaller rovers, you can really only put one or the other, but not both. Now, we're working through some upgrades, some smelting, some expanding the base. You can see we made a couple of aluminium alloys there already. We're working on... we've plugged the rover in so that when I need additional power, I'm just going to, fire up the medium generator that's on the rover. And we're getting the benefit of the wind turbine that's on the rover as well. It's helping with our power situation, but our power situation is still a bit of a problem. I have had a bit of research with some alternative power options, and I'm going to experiment with those next episode. Just a way of automating gathering and smelting of organic and then turning it into, carbon, and then using that carbon to then run generators constantly. I may look at getting something like that up and running. There is a bit of effort required and a bit of materials required, and at this stage I don't know if the amount of time it's going to take to get something like that working is going to is going to be worth the time investment versus if I just make do with the power I have. Am I going to make up the time? And I'm not convinced I will. It's something I think I'll do in my regular series if I'm having any trouble with power, but in this one I'm sort of on the fence at this stage. But there'll be more on that in future episodes. In the meantime, we are spitting out some more platforms, we're spitting out some more workstations, and we are making our base quite a lot more useful than it was previously. We have here a soil centrifuge. I haven't really had a proper demo of that for you guys in either of my series just yet. I will include one probably in the next episode I record, so that'll be, 2 episodes time kind of thing. But I'll show you how it works. Essentially, you just use soil to spin down to create, one of the other kind of basic building materials. It's handy if you don't have access to, ammonium or graphite or something like that. At a pinch, soil's not that hard to come by. You can just chuck a bunch of soil in the machine, spin down, get a handful of whatever it is that you're looking to get, and just move on with your day without having to, traipse all over the planet to find the one or two of something that is the only thing that's holding you up, kind of thing. And we are... that's the other fancy thing that we're looking for. We are going to be making an atmospheric condenser. Now, this is something we don't have in my regular series just yet, simply because we haven't got to a position of getting iron. You do need iron for the atmospheric condenser, and as you can see, I actually have a fair bit of it at the moment. We're going to crank out a little bit of plastic, and then that will let us make the atmospheric condenser. Now, I was kind of looking forward to this one because I was a little bit curious what types of gases were going to be available on Aeolus, and I was pleasantly surprised by what I found. But yeah, no spoilers. I'm going to make you wait for this one. Alright, now that I've kept you guys in suspense, yep, hydrogen, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Basically, every single gas has equal abundance, and 100 PPU or whatever it's called, is actually pretty decent. It means you're going to be reasonably efficient with your gathering. That's quite important, particularly when power's an issue like it is at the moment, because that atmospheric condenser thing, it sucks down a huge amount of power. So, yeah, anyway, we ran off. We've got ourselves a bunch more organic. We're going to smelt all of that into carbon so that we can keep our medium generator going more consistently. And we're going to sort of, I don't know, come up with a bit of a plan for setting it up, even if it's only one generator running for an extended period. That's going to be better than the somewhat lackluster setup we have at the moment. So I'm going to spit another platform out. We're going to put the generator on that, and we're going to stock the platform up with carbon, and then basically turn the generator on when we're doing really important stuff, so that it'll auto feed from whatever's available on the platform, and it will keep going for a much longer period. And yeah, we're spitting out another generator so that we can essentially keep the one that we've allocated to the buggy, and then have a separate one for the base. Alright, this is our new power setup coming together, smelting up a bunch of organic, and we're going to get that together with our new medium generator. Now, the sulfur situation, we're spitting out a bunch of that so we can make explosives. The other thing that we are doing is a little bit of a tidy up, setting up our new medium generator over here. And that's pretty much it. And that's how I would also describe where we are at in this episode. We have reached the end. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.